So your Twitter feed is really fascinating, and you include a lot of aerial kind of imagery tracking the routes of different ships, and a lot of very granular kind of information about how these different ships are moving through this region. So I was wondering how you do your work and how you actually keep track of all of these movements.
Yeah, so ships in the commercial and sort of the non-military space are supposed to always be broadcasting. Ships of a certain size are always supposed to be broadcasting on a system we call the automatic information system. And it's really a safety of navigation system so that ships don't come into, basically don't collide with one another in crowded sea lanes. So because ships, including fishing ships, and China treats its maritime militia, it calls them fishing ships, even though most of them don't fish at all, and some of them fish very little, because their primary purpose is to assert sovereignty. So they're supposed to always have these systems turned on, as do their Coast Guard. And so that enables us to kind of keep an eye on what they're doing, and we can see when they are exerting power in certain ways, whether it be by swarming, whether it be sort of this survey and force that they did in the month of May in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone, whether it be challenging legitimate operations within a country's own waters. Those kinds of things, we can often see those things. Now, ships that are up to no good will often turn those things off and on, or pretend to be something else, or pretend to be somewhere else. But we can also keep track of that. So if suddenly a Coast Guard ship turns into a small pleasure boat, well, we saw that, and we know what you are, and that whatever you're doing, you're probably not up to any good. But of course, Chinese ships will turn them off for a particular period of time, but then turn them on when they want to be seen. So, for example, we've watched the world's largest Coast Guard ship, which has recently been in Vietnam's exclusive economic zone among its oil and gas operations a couple of times, and it specifically turned its AIS system on, its transmissions on, when it was touring through those areas, because China wanted the government of Vietnam to know that this very, very large Coast Guard ship was there. It was sending a message. What we do is we say, okay, if you're going to send a message directly to the government of Vietnam, because of course the government controls the information that comes in, we're also going to tell the world. So if you want to intimidate the Vietnamese government, that's up to you, but we're going to make sure everybody else knows about it, and we're going to put it out as well.